Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's have a look at the stocks on the move today here in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepker with Tom McKenzie, and we're joined by Bloomberg reporter Louise Moon. Louise, good morning. Rheinmetall and other European defence stocks are rising because of the progress in Germany on building the Bundeswehr, on spending on the Bundeswehr, which of course is the German armed forces.
Indeed, yeah. So Germany is set to approve 29 procurement contracts for the military. That's next week, and that will be for a record 52 billion euros. So huge spending from Germany. This is, part of their push to transform the military. You had Chancellor Merz last night pledging to make it the strongest conventional army in Germany. Obviously, this comes on top of the rise in defence spending that we've been seeing since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So as you say, that's benefiting Rheinmetall in Germany, BAE Systems in the UK, Saab and Stockholm, but across the board really in Europe, all ticking up into the green on the expectation of benefiting from that the rise in spending, but particularly that massive German record contract.
In a different sector, but gains coming through again, which is in the wind space, the wind energy space. Orsted on the rise, and that's after a US federal judge ruled that President Trump's executive order banning new wind projects is illegal. Yes,
this has really been seen as a win for renewable energy. So Trump in January, he issued a directive effectively halting approvals of wind farms, and this has been kind of ongoing throughout this whole year. And Orsted in particular in Europe has really had quite a tumultuous ride of their shares this year on the back of this news. So he halted approvals of wind farms, effectively freezing dozens of projects all around the UK. So clean energy projects around the US, This was then challenged by about a dozen US states as well as a clean energy group. And as you say, overnight, the federal judge ruled that ban was illegal. So you would think, obviously, that then, Orsted, Vestas, both in Copenhagen, also others all around Europe, that will benefit them and they could go ahead with these projects in the US. So both ticking up into the green as well this morning.
Okay, interesting on wind farms. As for HelloFresh, another German name, the subscription meal company, they're dropping today. Why?
So there was a note out from Morgan Stanley, and Morgan Stanley have downgraded HelloFresh. So they're saying that there's intensifying competition in the US in the ready-to-eat meal space. And so therefore there's a lot more uncertainty about HelloFresh's long-term trajectory, so potential deterioration in the fourth quarter in particular, but then also ongoing in the long term. So they're saying that, this risk reward is skewed to the downside on that lack of near-term catalyst to boost HelloFresh, and also saying that they need to invest a lot more next year to stabilise their performance. So a downgrade from Morgan Stanley. If you look at now of the analyst ratings, I think Morgan Stanley the only analysts for a sell, and there's about 10 buys and 8 holds, so a bit of an outlier in that space, but the shares really reacting on the back of that. They dropped really heavily at open this morning.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.